need someone to talk to and you don't know what to do, call us 214-4400 when you're feeling all alone and they turn their back on you. Call us 214-4400. Call us 214-4400. Call us 214-4400. Call us.
Welcome to the Kind Counseling Podcast. I'm your host, Marquis Roberts. Once again, we're here to give insights and to share information as well as bring light to various topics that affect our communities at large. Kind Counseling is a mental health practice that gives hope to the hopeless through mental health empowerment and spiritual insight. And today we got a great show for you guys. We got special guests, an inspiring story. But first, I want to introduce our co-hosts. Then we're going to chop it up with some current events. All right. So first, we got the beautiful Dania Roberts. We got the one and only Fred Charles and supermodel Deshaun Geddes.
That's crazy.
All right. How y'all been, man? It's been a while.
We're good. We're good.
What's up, everybody?
Good seeing you guys.
Doing good.
A very long while.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to have you guys here, man. Y'all, I had to do all these podcasts by myself, man. All right, man. So listen.
And you realize you needed us?
Yeah, man, I was like, no, I can't do it without them, man.
Appreciate that.
So listen, all right. So we're gonna jump into some current events real quick, and then we're gonna bring in the guests. All right. So first, all right. So we had the whole Ukraine-Russian war. My thing was like COVID just disappeared as soon as this war broke out. Like, what's up with that? What y'all think about that, man? This whole war and it just took over the news and all that.
They up to something.
Yep.
I don't know what, but they up to something.
Mm.
COVID just disappeared. Like COVID just literally disappeared. It's not even on the news anymore.
It's not.
Yeah, nothing about it on the news. It's all Ukraine.
Fred, what you think about the war, man?
Listen, man, it's another opportunity to make money. War is a money-making machine.
Mm-hmm.
And although the United States is not directly involved in the shooting, they're certainly benefiting from these gas prices and the prices of all commodities that the citizens need on a day-to-day basis. So, the thing is that most people don't realize there are like 9,000 untapped oil wells that could be opened up, at least some of them, to help mitigate this rising cost of gasoline. But listen, these guys the powers that be are not going to do that when they have an opportunity to basically make up for the lost year and a half
Wow.
of lost revenue, right? With this, as a result of this Ukraine. So I foresee we're going to be paying through the nose for the next several months. And when the summer comes, get a bicycle.
Yeah. I gotta look at a scooter, man.
For real. Because I went to fill up my gas tank the other day and it was $50.
Yeah.
And usually it's about 35.
Oh wow.
In the past, I've had to fill it up and it was like $47. I was like, I might start walking to the office again. Like I was doing in 2020. I'm gonna start walking. It's getting nice. I'm gonna start walking again because that's just crazy. Yeah. Like, and everything is expensive, not just gas. Food is very expensive. Everything is expensive through the roof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Something needs to happen and fast.
Well, so all right, what about the new mayor, Eric Adams? What you guys think about him, man? The black mayor.
I don't get caught up in that.
I mean, he's like a walking contradiction, man. First he's vegan and he's eating fish, and then he's like a Democrat, then a Republican, then a Democrat. I'm like, bro, what's going on?
He's just trying to fit in.
And please everybody, probably.
Yeah. Then wasn't he like he had a police brutality case? Then he joined the police, and then he started going against the police. Now he's like trying to bring back stop and frisk. I'm like, bro, go on.
Did he? I didn't know he had a police brutality case.
Yeah, when he was a teenager.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, yeah, I heard about that. I did hear about that.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. Saturday Night Live,
But
I don't know. They don't do him right, but go ahead, Fred.
Listen, he's the mayor for business New York. Okay, never mind the everyday citizen. It's all about getting COVID behind us. It's about getting back in the offices. It's about getting business back to rocking and rolling because billions of dollars have been lost and they got to recoup that. Let me think about it. These people who own these office buildings up and down Manhattan, if people are in the office, they're going to basically go bankrupt, right? Because
right.
some of these corporations are paying millions of dollars of rent annually.
Right.
They can't afford that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So you put in somebody who's going to make sure that everybody comes back and put COVID behind us.
Well, I mean,
good luck to that because I'm sorry. Good luck to that because I don't know if you guys have heard of this thing called the Great Resignation.
Yeah.
Right. So people are really giving a lot of pushback as far as going back into the building to work.
Yeah.
You know, my own sister who works for FIT, she's still working from home because she doesn't want to go back to the building right now, you know, and people feel like the last 2 years have proven that we can work remotely. So why can't we do that? Especially those people that don't have to be in person, like healthcare and, you know, well, even education can work remote. Yeah, healthcare, like nurses, doctors, you have to go into the hospital for that, right? To see your patients. But
who can? Oh, okay. So what you guys think about
can't really
what you guys think about working remote? Well, what do you guys think about that?
Well, in my field, it doesn't work. I mean, if you have a population of students who are struggling in person, they're going to struggle even more remotely. I think remote education, even for adults, probably works for a very small percentage of people. But I think for other industries, I think it's great. The numbers prove that people have been more productive. And I think personally, when I was home for those few months when COVID first hit, I was working longer hours, but I knew that I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to worry about parking. I didn't have to worry about going out to get lunch. I knew I could take 30 minutes and cook a meal or whatever. I was more productive. And I know a lot of people in other industries are more productive. If you're traveling into the city from the suburbs, you're saving anywhere between 2 to 4 hours in travel time, and you're giving it to your employer.
Yeah.
Good point. But to talk about what you said, Fred, my middle daughter Nala, she when she was doing remote from school, she did horrible. Like really wasn't doing really good. But now that she went back into school, she's an honor roll student.
Oh, wow.
So it depends on, it's crazy. And me and Jess were shocked. We were like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now she's an honor roll student because she goes to school. So it depends on, I guess, the person. You know, some people, are better remote, and some people are better actually getting up and actually getting ready.
Right. I agree with that. I think the option should be given.
Right.
I think it should be given. Like everybody should be forced to go back to the building. And even Fred, what you were saying about the travel time, what about the expense of traveling? A lot of people say that too.
Right.
Especially with gas.
Gas and the trains, Metro North, that's coming from Jersey. Who's coming from Jersey to come into the city or whatever? So a lot of money will say, but people should be given an option, because it works for some. And for others that don't like it, go back to the building if you want.
The flip side is, unfortunately, if especially if you're working in the city, if half those people are, working remotely, then all the businesses that rely on those workers to be in the city, they're going to shut down.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, there are positives and negatives.
That's true too.
All right, man. So we got one other thing that, man, this ripped me up, man. One other thing in the news. Kanye and Kim got divorced. Oh, God.
Is it official?
We knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Is it divorce official?
Supposedly, I don't know, man. Come on.
Well, did he say he was going to chop her up and put her in the trunk?
Oh, wow. Well, because you got to understand, Dania, this is his first divorce and her fifth. So, it's, it just says a lot.
Cammy's broken up about it.
Come on.
Those are a couple goals for you.
That's Cammy's boy, Kanye. I can't.
He needs kind counseling.
I'm just saying, maybe one of these days, man. Maybe one of these days.
He does. Definitely needs
I
time.
was like, man, come on, man. Anyway.
All
right,
let's
man.
see who she picks up next.
Huh?
Let's see who picks up next.
Who he picks up or who she picks up?
She picks up.
Well, I think she already picked up somebody.
No, that guy's just a stopgap.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
I don't know.
No,
look at her pattern of relationships.
Oh,
and
right.
the stopgap is always a white guy.
Oh, so who's she with now?
Pete Davidson,
the guy from Saturday Night Live, Pete Davidson.
Yeah, Pete Davidson, I think.
I have no idea.
He doesn't listen. He doesn't have bank like that. I don't care how many ferries he buys.
But look, maybe it's not about bank, Fred. Maybe it's not about bank. Maybe she's just trying to have some fun.
Maybe.
And does she really need bank? Doesn't she have her own?
Yeah, she does.
She's near a billionaire now, right?
Yeah.
If you're a billionaire, you're gonna be dating a guy who makes $100 grand.
I mean,
you can,
but probably not. And I'm talking about from a woman's perspective. I'm not asking if a man is a billionaire. Would he marry a waitress?
But I'm just saying, she's just dating him. She's not marrying him. Now I can understand a billionaire not marrying somebody.
Hello.
Wait. So you get it, Dania. What'd you say?
Woman over here, I probably would not be in a serious relationship with a man who's making less money than me.
Why is that?
I don't know, because
oh boy, here we go.
Okay. All right. So
I gotta hear this.
I'm so confused.
I'm about to go on unemployment.
I was at your wedding and you married for love, right?
Gabby's guest is waiting.
I'm about to go on unemployment right now.
She knew you was gonna make Freddie Cammy. She's like, oh, okay.
No, I think it's just the idea for and I'm speaking for myself. I'm an old-fashioned girl. It's just the idea of having a man who can take care of me, right? And not that a woman can't do that for a man, but in the short run, in the long run, I want to have peace of mind and security and know that if I decide that I'm going to stay home with the kids or whatever the case is, you're able to hold it down.
So can a man have that same truth?
You mean from a woman? I don't know if men are looking for that from women.
So I'm so confused, Diane, because I thought women was all about equal, and it doesn't seem like that's equal.
Wait, we got to guess.
I was asking. It's just a question.
Like I said, I'm an old-fashioned girl, right?
Oh, okay.
And although I believe that women and men are equal, I do believe in gender roles. I do believe in that. And I think that's where maybe that might be what you're talking about in terms of, just women feeling like they can play the role of a man and men feeling like they can play the role of a woman. It's just all backwards now. But I don't think it's a question of equality. I think it's a question of function and role. Like, what are you bringing to the table, and what are you gonna do, and what am I gonna do? That type of thing. So, I hope that answers your question.
So we're gonna have to continue this on the next episode.
Yeah, we'll continue that.
Juicy, right?
That's
the next one. It's not my situation, but I just got a friend who actually is, a house husband. What is it? A house husband, I think.
We gotta bring him on the show, man. We gotta bring him on the show.
I said one more thing before you bring your guest in. In my experience, those type of reversals don't work for the long run. I don't know about your friend, how long they've been doing it.
Right. And you know what? I'm gonna respect that because you got 25 years in. So I'm gonna let you wear your crown.
That's all I'm saying. I've never seen it work out, but
I hear you.
There's an exception.
All right. Okay. So right now we're gonna bring in our guest. You're listening to the Kind Counseling Podcast. Feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now back to the show. So we want to introduce our guest, Mr. Touze. All right, he's
Hey,
welcome. Let me give him an intro. So Mr. Touze, he's a Haitian artist, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker from Providence, Rhode Island. Growing up with a church and basketball background has instilled discipline and selflessness within him, but also having a street background gave him opportunities to learn from mistakes that help him develop negotiation and awareness and skills. All in all, molding him to be the man he is today. He strives to motivate and impact the world to be a better place. Let's welcome Mr. S. Touze. Hi.
What's up, y'all? Thank you.
Good to have you, man. Good to have you, man.
Good to be here. Good to be here, man.
How you doing in this crazy world we live in right now?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just trying to maintain, and you know how it is. It's always changing. Everything's evolving, and just trying to maintain with the times and make sure that I'm, as sharp as possible and doing the best I can when it's with the change. So I'm doing good.
All right. Okay. So listen, man. We we brought you in today. We know that you had a story, man, right? And I wanted our audience to just really hear it. Like when you were a teenager and some incidents transpired, man. So maybe you could just jump right in and tell us a little bit about it, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been through a lot. I'm sure many can relate, to my story. But I grew up in a church background. I grew up pretty much in a good home. My parents came in from Haiti. No money, barely spoke English, went to St. Martin. That's why I was born St. Martin. Came here when I was like 1 year old, and my parents, worked dominoes and did all types of jobs just to keep us under the roof, keep some food on the table. And, I grew up in just an environment, rough environment, dangerous environment, but it helped mold me to who I am today. Yeah. But, just didn't have it like that, man, growing up and, just got caught up in the streets at a young age. I'll say around 12 years old, I started really getting engaged in the streets and stuff, but I always played ball. Ball was my main thing. And, just been through obstacles, different obstacles, man. And, been through some serious situations, getting locked up countless amount of times. And, it was just very rough. Okay. But I had a crazy experience with some friends when I was about 16. They end up lacing my blunt, and I had a crazy episode where I had to go to a mental institution for like 3 months. And that was a turning point for me to say, I have to change my life. And if I don't do so, things are not going to end up good for me. And I thank God I was able to see certain things when things were going on, to be able to evade certain activities and make the changes and make the adjustments and turn my life around, man. And going to college, playing college basketball, to being, the entrepreneur I am now and everything like that. But it was a rough path for sure. For sure, man.
Wow. So what was it like? I mean, because we hear all kinds of stuff about psychiatric hospitals, man. What was that like? Like you said you were in there for 3 months. That's a long time.
Yeah, man.
What was that experience like?
It was scary, man. It was like, it's crazy because I don't know if you want me to tell you a quick synopsis of the story, but when I woke up, I was in a mental institution, and I remember waking up and there was a kid sitting on the bed across from me, like, "Hi, my name is," whatever his name was, Daniel or something. I'm like, "Yo, where am I?" He said, "Oh yeah, Butler Hospital. That's the mental institution of Rhode Island." I'm like, "Butler? What's that?" He said, "Yeah, in the mental institution." I'm like, "What?" So I tried to leave, man. The people who worked there were like, "Yo, you ain't going nowhere." They had big workers, security there. I just didn't understand what was going on. So it was like, it was scary, man. It was just, it was just a different environment, man. You have people evaluating you all day, writing stuff down. And, of course, when you don't know where you are, you don't want to be somewhere, you're aggressive. And the more you react, the more you react a certain way, the longer you can stay in there. So it was really just a scary environment. It was an unknown environment, something I wasn't educated on. I didn't know where I was. It was a very scary, life-changing experience.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Brother,
you remember?
I'm sorry, Don. You go ahead, Dania.
I was just going to ask, do you remember, because you said you woke up in the hospital, like, so do you remember what happened before you woke up in the hospital? I mean, I know you said you had an incident where your joint was laced or whatever, but do you remember anything after that, like leading up to the waking up in the hospital, or did you just black out or whatever?
I remember bits and pieces because, so if I was to backtrack a little bit, let me backtrack a little bit just to explain that, right? So when I was about 16, you know, me and a couple of guys, you know, started selling, you know, drugs and got involved with selling drugs and stuff like that. And I was selling primarily weed and stuff. So at that time, you know, there was certain strains of weed, like the drug game, drugs now and back then were very different. So the jealousy thing started kicking in. Some people in my circle started getting jealous. There was this envious thing going on. So one day, one of my friends called me and was like, hey, come smoke with us. I'm at my aunt's house, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, I go to his house, his aunt's house. There were a lot of other guys there that I knew, street guys I knew, but I wasn't really close to them like that. But I'm with my mans. I'm thinking, I'm safe. I'm with my boy. We're in the same gang. We're in the same circle. I'm safe. I'm good. And I remember the rapper Cameron said a line that hit me after. Cameron said, whenever you roll up a blunt, always roll up yourself because you never know, your own brother can hand you some dust. And that line hit me later down in life. So long story short, man, I'm with the guys. You know, I bring my weed. I'm making money at the time. This guy who invites me over, he's not making as much money, but we're in the same group. We're in the same gang. I'm thinking everything's good. I'm safe. I'm with my boy. So they're rolling up the weed. I get my weed. And the guys are rolling up. And one of the guys said, what kind of weed is this? And I was like, oh, I think I had like haze at the time. I'm like, yo, this is haze. He's like, oh, yo, damn. Because at the time, like I said, there was only certain strains of weed at the time. And he's like, damn, this is gonna get us high. But I got something that get us real high. And when he said that, he looked at my boy. And I looked at my boy. My boy kind of did one of these like embarrassment, like, why are you saying this out loud type of faces to the other guy. But I didn't think nothing. I'm with my friend. I'm safe. I'm thinking, man, I'm loyal to this group. I'm loyal to my boy. I'm getting the same loyalty back. Right. So at the time, we used to go around and play victim and victimize, man. I feel bad even thinking about this, man. But we used to punch random people and play these dangerous games, man. And we were walking around. It's about 9, 10 of us smoking, walking around, you know, looking for a victim. But the whole time when describing a victim, they're describing me. Let's get somebody tall, somebody with money, somebody. But then, mind you, we're smoking, so they don't know. They're kind of testing me out mentally to see how conscious I am, right? So what happened was the blunts we were smoking, they were smoking from them also. But when they reached a certain point, they would stop smoking from it. So while they're doing this, I'm not thinking nothing suspicious because they're smoking from the same blunts I'm smoking from. Right. When they reach a certain point, whatever they lace the blunt with, they stop smoking from it and let me smoke from it. You can't follow my drift? Wow, okay. So this is the blunt. Let's say whatever they lace the blunt with is over here, towards the end, right? Towards the mouth. Because you're burning the leaf, it's burning. When they reach a certain point, they stop, which is what happened. Okay. So first blunt comes around, I go to pass it, they're like, nah. I'm thinking this is wicked. I watched my boy burn his lip off a blunt being this small. Watch him burn his lip just to get it high as possible. He's turning on the weed. I'm like, that's a little weird, but most of it's mine anyway, so I'm not thinking nothing of it. The second one comes around, same thing. They're smoking from it, but when it gets to a certain point, they stopped. So I'm smoking, and barely any smoke's coming out. But I'm over here, you know, I'm like, most of it's my weed, so I'm just lighter smoke. And it's a light, thin smoke, and it had a weird taste. But I'm like I said, I'm thinking I'm safe because my friend is here with me. Right. So after like the third time this happened, we're walking around and they're testing me to see how I am mentally. So they're asking me a bunch of questions. We're talking, but I'm feeling super high. And I'm like, man, I've never been this high before in my life. But like I said, I'm not thinking nothing of it. Fast forward, we get to the kid's house and we're sitting on the porch and some dudes that we had problems with drove by. And the guys out, you know, they had weapons and stuff like that. So while they're reaching for their weapons, I jump off the porch and I just run. Because now at this point, let me rewind a little bit. At this point, I'm sitting on the porch. I'm like, man, I've never been this high. Something is wrong. But I'm still not thinking nothing of it. But I'm playing music on my MP3 player. This MP3 player just came out. This is how long ago the story was. Okay. Something kept telling me, pause the music. Pause the music. And this is how I feel like God was talking to me because I stopped going to church for about 2 years now at this point. Something is telling me, pause the music. So when I pause the music, I can hear my friend behind me whispering to the other guys that I don't really know like that. Yo, he has money on him. Just do it to him. Just do it. Make it quick. He has money on him. Get his phone. Now pretend I'm listening to the music still. I'm hearing my friend whisper to the other guys, just do it. Just do it. trust me, he has a lot of money on him. ABC. Now my heart's beating. I'm like, nah, this can't be real. This can't be happening.
Mm.
That's when the guys was in a car who pulled up with some beef that we all had, pulled up, and the guys pursued to get their weapons. I just leave. I just run. I run about 5-6 miles to my mom's house. I run nonstop.
Wow.
My friend's calling me on the next tel.
Okay.
Hey, where you at? Where are you? Come back. I'm like, no, I'm going to my cousin's house to get some weapons, some guns. I'm coming right back. No, come back. So at this point, they're thinking, if I do go see my cousins and they see me in the state that I'm not conscious or I'm acting funny, they're gonna think something happened to me and some real issues can happen. So you guys follow what's going on here right now?
Yeah.
So at this point, I know what's going on now. I run home, I get home, and everything starts hitting me, man. I'm in my room, I'm in my house, everything starts hitting me. And I realized I was set up. My own friend set me up and they laced my blunt. And I start throwing up and my mind is all over the place. I never, ever, ever felt this way. From there, I gained this like high level of paranoia. And I couldn't trust my own people. At this point, I couldn't trust my own friends. You know, these guys are dangerous. The other guys were dangerous. We had beef with a bunch of other gangs. At this point, I started to kind of lose it. I go in a frenzy. Right. And I just broke at one point. A few months down the line, I just mentally broke. And I had an episode. So to fast forward to your question, I remember bits and pieces in the hospital and people trying to pray with me and stuff like that. But I just lost it, man. I couldn't sleep. I was just in a frenzy, man.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And
how much time between the smoking of the blunt incident and you being put in the hospital?
I would say about a 3-month period time.
Oh wow, okay.
So from when my blunt got laced, every time I smoked, I would go into another episode. It would like trigger something.
Wow. Right.
Okay. And I'll go into this crazy, like deep episode where all these thoughts will come back again and all the bad things I did in the past. Now I can't trust nobody. Now I think everybody's trying out to get me. And I just broke, man. I just went to this episode one day. The day that I got sent to the institution, like people from my church came to the house to pray with me. And I didn't want to eat. I thought they were trying to put something in my food. Like literally, I didn't sleep for like probably 48 hours. I didn't sleep.
Wow.
And I just was going to this episode, man. And they had to literally physically grab me and restrain me. And then from there, that's when I started like probably falling asleep and not really, remembering everything. But I remember just waking up and I was in a mental institution. And that's what things was like, it was like, this is serious. You know what I mean? This is a serious thing. And it was a scary experience, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I'm curious, man. Just working on the mental health side of this, right? So, because I know that's not an easy thing to get past, right?
No, it's not.
Right. I've had clients that I've dealt with that, that really struggle with that. So, how did you get past this? Like the paranoia, like you said, and after the hospitalization and all that, like how did you get back to normal, whatever normal was?
So, man, damn, that was hard, man. So when I came out, because I did about 3 months in there, like I said, when I came out, it was hard, man, because I was like I said, I was involved in a street culture, street gang, and I was a popular kid at school. So the word got out, SI's in a mental institution. Touze in a mental institution. Everybody calls me SI. SI's in a mental institution. So when I came out, everyone was looking at me funny. People were scared to hug me. People were scared to dap me up. And I was like, I said this. I said, yo, God, man, if you get me out of here, I promise I'm going to change my life. And I meant that. I really was like, I'm going to change my life. While I was in, I started to write poetry, and stuff like that. And the people that worked there started to see, all right, this kid he's not really far. He just had an episode. They could see, even the other kids in there were like, hey, Isaiah, he's normal. He's fine. He doesn't belong in here. And one of the guys in my church actually worked in that mental institution in another department. So he'd come see me every day and come pray with me, talk to me. So when I started to really come to my senses, I was like, yo, I got to make a change. I just didn't know where to begin. So when I got out, it was hard to come back into general population because everyone's looking at me weird, funny. So I just isolated myself a little bit. I said, I'm gonna give myself some time. I started to read books. That's when I first started to like read. I was in 10th grade when this happened. So in my 10th grade, I was probably really at like a 7th grade reading learning level. I really wasn't there. I was just cheating off people. I really was behind at an educational level.
All right.
So I started to just really isolate myself. I stopped listening to like hip hop, negative music. I started to try new things. Like I started to go to a library. I tried to read a book. That was hard for me. You know what I mean? So I started writing words down that I didn't know. I would take a dictionary and start to look at those words and write them. And to this day, I'm still doing it. If I don't know a word, I'm writing it down.
Oh, I thought that was money, man.
That's the real money
you had there.
That's the money now, right? Yeah.
This is the real money now.
Yeah.
I have thousands of cards. I have thousands. I still do this to this day. It's still a hobby that I do.
All right.
So
that's amazing.
The change, that's why I started to really make that adjustment, was to isolate myself. My gang, the dudes was hitting me up. Yo, what's going on with you, man? Blah, blah. I just had to really isolate myself and give myself some time. And Rod Serling, I really think Rod Serling, he's a guy, I don't know if you guys ever watched Twilight Zone, 1940 show.
Yeah.
He inspired me to read because he came out and he says his little introduction, We're in the fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man, and he gets a little spiel, and I was like, yo, I want to speak like this guy. I started to read, and I started to like stop listening to negative music. And for about 3 years, I stopped listening to hip hop. I just played like jazz and instrumentals, and I played like Nas and certain people, Talib Kweli and them. That's when I started to make the change and really start to learn about myself and see this new side of myself. But it was hard. I just had to isolate myself from a certain crowd, the hood and girls, and you know what I mean?
Wow. And you said you're from Providence, Rhode Island?
Correct. The smallest state. State.
That's so funny. I would have thought there were no gangs in Providence.
Yeah. You know what I learned too? Anywhere you go, I feel like you go to Utah, anywhere, there's gonna be some gangs. Anywhere you go, there's gonna be people who are just willing to do whatever it is and cause terror. So Rhode Island is like there's a lot of gangs out there. It's actually a very dangerous city, Providence, actually.
Really?
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
But now we know not to smoke no joints all the way down to the end, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. That's what we learned?
That's my takeaway today.
That's what we learned. That was
Thanks for clearing that up. Yeah.
What's your favorite episode of The Twilight Zone?
My favorite was it was called it's the episode where the guys they stole the gold. It was called
that's a good yes.
Bo Winkle, I forgot the name of the title. I remember the title too, but
Rip Van Winkle.
Yes. I feel the episode right there, man.
Yeah.
Powerful episode, man.
Great
That
episode.
episode, like brothers, it just talks about like they stole the gold and did all of that for nothing. They stole the gold and they like hibernated themselves, and like 100 years from now they came out and they thought the gold would still have the same value that they stole, but in actuality that gold had no value. And they killed each other as time went on. It was one guy left with the gold and they meant nothing. So they killed each other, robbed the bank, and did all these heinous crimes. Come to find out, it meant nothing. The gold meant nothing. It had no value. That's my favorite episode.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So I know we we usually do a segment also with all our guests, man, where Fred usually had he had some questions, man. Here, so we like to have a little fun with our guests.
Okay.
So you down to answer some questions, man?
Of course.
All right. Okay, Fred, you ready?
All right, listen, we're gonna go with the class. Are you involved with the significant other?
Yeah, I'm involved in significant other. Yeah.
Okay. Now is this individual's mother still around?
Yeah, she's still around.
Okay. So it's crazy, but for $100,000, would you convince your significant other's mother that you would fall in love with her?
For $100,000? I'll try to attempt, but I probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't do it. I'm thinking about I probably wouldn't do it.
$100,000, man.
There's some people on this line who would do it, though.
Believe it.
Like who?
I believe it.
I don't know who, but
I'm gonna leave it at that.
oh my
I
God.
would do it.
Oh my God.
For 100 grand, I would do it.
Mhm.
100 grand's a lot now.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just
That is a
saying.
lot.
You know what I can do with 100 grand?
You
Right?
know what I mean?
Mhm.
Oh my God. So Fred, you got another one?
I have a million of them.
Okay, all right, man. What you got?
So, would you, for $1 million,
All right.
go an entire year barefoot?
For $1 million,
Yes.
I would do it, bro.
We'll go barefoot.
I have a
But
question.
Fred, you
Now, are you in
Fred,
Rhode
you
Island
asked
right
that
now?
question, but isn't that the Haitian way?
Oh,
I'm
stop.
saying, I'm
What?
Haitian.
Oh wow. Wow.
Now, you know what?
Yo,
Wow,
yo,
man,
you
I
got
would
3
do it. That's
Haitians on
nothing to
there,
me.
man.
I know. I thought that
That's nothing to me. I'm
Oh,
Haitian.
it's
That's
not.
nothing to
Listen,
me.
I don't ever go barefoot, not even in my own
That's
house.
true.
So,
That is
Oh,
true.
okay. That all right.
Me too.
Okay.
That would be hard though, cause same thing. Even in my house, I wear like flip flops or whatever. But for $100 million, I would do it.
You gotta walk on the street barefoot too.
Oh yeah. Damn.
that's not that part, huh?
And do you still live in Rhode Island?
Nah, I actually live in Brooklyn now. I've been here for 2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's cold. Brooklyn's cold too, so
It's
Mhm.
cold, man. It's
I don't know
cold.
if it'd be possible.
I would try my best. I'll try my best as possible to like stay off the ground, but I would do it though. I'll do it for $1 million for sure.
$1 million.
Mm.
Okay, so
I got a funny one real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just saw this and I thought this was hilarious. Would you rather live with ghosts or roaches?
Oh, God.
Roaches, man. I used to live with roaches before.
He's like, that ain't no problem. That ain't no
I got no
problem.
problem with roaches. I can live with roaches.
I lived with roaches before, man. I'll do it. Roaches.
Right?
Roaches, okay,
You
that's cool.
you can get rid of the roaches. You can kill the roaches. What you gonna do with a ghost?
Yeah, for real.
In an exorcism.
That's
Right?
right.
For real.
It's a real question. That's all.
That's true, man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So so Fred, you got another one, or should I move on?
I have one more for the road. One more
You
for the
got one
road.
more. I want
Okay.
Okay, 100 grand
All right.
wherever you go.
Mm.
Okay, for 1 year, wherever you go, you got to walk backwards.
And you need to up that money.
But-
You need
That's
to up
tough.
that
I'm
money.
not doing it. Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Why you not doing it?
Man, that's tough, man. That's tough.
Walk back.
I'm thinking about just to even do it for a day. That's hard. I wouldn't do it.
Wait, how long you said, Fred? How long?
1 year.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, come on, that's crazy.
I'm gonna sweeten the pot. You're gonna get half of the loot up front.
Not for 100 grand. You gotta up that money.
You gotta up the money. Yeah, you gotta up the money.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
That's
goodness, wow.
it's too much. I'm good. I'm good.
Deshaun, what
Hey,
about
man,
you, Deshaun?
you can record something and make that, right?
Oh man, I can't. Man, I can't walk backwards. I got 3 kids. I can't walk.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Man.
You know.
Oh man.
Oh man.
So SI man. So what are you doing these days, man? Like, just tell the people a little bit about. I know you do music and art and stuff like that. Like, what you doing these days?
Man, I'm doing a lot, man. Right now, like you said, I'm doing the music thing. That's like the primary thing. The music and the fashion and the art, they all correlate. So, I've been really taking that head on.
Okay.
You know, the entrepreneurial thing. You know, we got a couple businesses going on here. You know, I got my own music publishing company.
Okay.
You know, my team is currently constantly building. So, you know, primarily I'll just say the music and the entrepreneurial stuff. And right now I'm looking to do more community work. I just came from Rhode Island, and I was meeting with the Haitian committee out there and stuff like that. So they're looking to have me on board and get more involved with like doing more community stuff for the Haitians in Rhode Island and, you know, all around. So I really just want to, you know, plant a seed, man, before my time and just really have an impact to just really help my people and the people in my community, whether it's through music, through fashion, or through anything else. So That's really what I've been doing as of today, man.
I actually got a question. What made you start trusting people again?
That's a good question.
That's a good question, yo. You know what? That's good. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question, bro. Damn. What made me reach out, trusting people again? I think it made me more vigilant in who I trust. Like that experience, like made me way more like vigilant and attentive of who to trust and who to be around. And because of that particular situation, and certain things I've been through, my eyes are 10 times more open to like who my surroundings and what I do. So a lot of my church family, growing up with them, they showed, it's like family, they showed trust, they showed certain things that they've done. So it made me go back to more to my church family and people who illustrate certain traits. So if you don't illustrate certain traits, I'm gonna move from an distance with you, man. It's just how I move now. So it's
Can
just
you
how
tell
you
us
move.
what those traits are that you're looking for in people?
Yeah, respect, a lot of respect of others and respect of yourself. Like if you move a certain way, you can't respect, people around you and doesn't matter who. I watch how you move. I watch how you treat people. I watch how you talk to people. If you move a certain way, it's all love. But I'm moving with this. Are you guys saying that beeping sound?
No.
All right, it's just me. All right. So yeah, man, like respect, like how you respect yourself, self-respect. You don't respect yourself, and obviously that's suppositional. But the way you conduct yourself and how you treat others, that plays a role how I move with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me ask you, what's your opinion of the legalization of marijuana? Considering your experience with it.
Yeah. My honest opinion, I think like the government, and I think a lot of people are going to not abuse it, but I think they're going to take advantage of having that prerogative over marijuana and the legalization of it. Those who started their businesses, I have a lot of friends who are involved in the marijuana community, and they have their cards and they're doing, HTC, and they're trying to do things, the right way and trying to do things to help the community with whether it's HTC or whatever way you look at it. I think the government is going to try to step in and try to control and regulate just as they do with a lot of other things.
True.
And I personally don't trust a lot of governmental stuff when it comes to food. Like I eat a certain way and things like that. I think people got to watch out with their marijuana, what they're going to put in it. That's just me. That's just me. I'm all for legalizing it, but I just say for people, just be careful of like where you're buying it from and the substances they put on top of that. Like, but I'm all for legalization of it. I'm all for it.
Do you still smoke?
Nah, man, that actually led me to stop smoking. I haven't smoked in like 10 plus years, man. I haven't smoked. I'm all set. You know what I mean? But I'm not, I have no wrong, like I have no issue with it. Like you smoke away. Just be careful, be safe. Like I said with my story, be careful who you smoke with. People nowadays don't know what they're smoking. It's like people don't even know type of strength. I'm around people who smoke. Obviously, I'm sure we all have friends and people who know people who smoke. But people don't know what they're smoking nowadays. People don't know the strains of smoking nowadays. The people are like spraying all types of stuff over their weed, and it could be dangerous, man. I've seen videos. I've watched videos and people warning other people just to be careful of what you're smoking because there's a lot of like preservatives and unsafe things people are putting over their weed. So just be careful. That's my message.
All right.
So
I was going to ask, what would you say to the young people today? But you just said it. So
well, so let me ask you, man. So if people want to contact you, like how do they because I know you do motivational speaking and other stuff too, man. So how do people contact you if they they want to bring you in?
You can contact me if you have serious inquiries. You could email me at stuzellc@gmail.com. So it's gonna be stuz, my name, llc@gmail, or you can just reach out to me on any platform. Instagram, I'm pretty active on there, but email is pretty good. My team will receive the emails, and then from there we could talk and plug it in the planner. But Yeah, man. Like I said, I do a lot of different things, motivational speaking, music, and things of that nature. So if you want to reach out to me, email me or just, shoot me a DM or something like that if you're comfortable with that. So that works.
Okay. All right, man. All right, man. Listen, man. You gave us a lot of good information, man, and we definitely appreciate your honesty, man. In that whole experience. So listen, we just want to thank you for coming through, man, and keep doing your thing, man. You're a positive brother, man. Keep doing your thing.
For sure, man. For sure, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we talked earlier, I got a bunch of other stuff. Even recently, stuff I went through with the police thing. We could talk about that later down the line.
Yeah. We gotta come back to that.
Come back to that, man.
Yeah.
I just want to leave a message, man, to everybody who watches this, especially young generation.
Yeah.
You could always do whatever you want. You can educate yourself. Never stop feeding your mind. Don't ignore bad energy. Like if you feel something, don't ignore it, but never stop feeding your mind. You know what I mean? Hopefully we could talk later on with the police thing. That's a big thing I want to share.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my music, but I experienced a police brutality situation and I beat that case 10 months with no lawyer, defending myself on special appearance as my own lawyer. If I could do it, you could do it.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
We're going to have you come back for that, man.
Yes.
As they say in the Haitian church, amen.
Amen.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Listen, man. Yeah. We definitely appreciate you, man. So thanks again for coming through, man.
Yes, thank you so much.
Peace.
All right, man.
Peace, man.
Cool. All right.
If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. I've been down before to come up, I ain't stressing. Baby, I'm too busy.